Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Business Talks. I am your host, Chawanne Burns. In this video, we are going to talk about Mayor Brandon Johnson. We have a lot of stuff to talk about Mayor, the Chicago mayor. He's been a busybody. Number one, he's planning to spend $29 million on a tent. Okay. That is really ludicrous. Um, just to get all the illegal immigrants out of the police department. And I guess he's planning to house them there. And this tent will be suitable for the winter. So he's going to winterize it and make sure it has enough heat going into the tent. But it's a whopping $29 million. And some of his loyal constituents or loyal allies, they have a problem with it because he just made an executive decision to do this. So we're going to talk about that. Then we're going to get into a senator, Democrat senator in New Jersey, has just been indicted about a day or two ago. His name is Senator Menendez, and he was indicted for several bribery charges. And he's been receiving bribes and payments, all for the influence of his political power. And they're saying that it's been several years he's been doing this. And I believe he should be charged with some other stuff, but we will get into that also. So and we got a show full of other things that we're going to talk about, some political, some is social, I guess, social issues that we want to discuss. But we're going to talk about that this evening. So, you guys remember to like, subscribe, comment on this video. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're joining us from a different platform, which is Twitch, Facebook, whatever, I'm streaming, Rumble, make sure you comment on this video and like this video and share this content. Okay. We have North South from Dallas, Texas. Thank you. Actually, we're going to talk about Texas. We got a story from Texas, and I guess your name is Jerry. So we're going to talk about Texas in a bit. So let's get to our first story. Our first story is Mayor Brandon Johnson. Like I said, he's been a busybody. Don't know why they're trying to throw all this money at the border crisis. It's not going to fix it. I don't care how much money you throw at this crisis. Until you shut the borders down, it will not be fixed. You're not going to see any resolution for the border crisis. And as a matter of fact, you're not going to see any resolutions. You're going to keep on engineering and compiling your problem that you already have. But he decided, let me just share this tab with you. He decided that he wants to spend another $29 million of probably taxpayers' money. It didn't say where they're getting this money from, but it doesn't matter if it's taxpayers or the federal government, because if it's from the federal government, it's still taxpayers, just not the city of Chicago. So where am I at? Here you go. So it says Johnson faces criticism following Chicago's $29 million winterized tent contract with controversial company. Now, I could tell you now, reason why it's very controversial. Number one, you didn't get the community get involved. You didn't ask their opinion. Then the people that actually ship these illegal aliens down here are the people that's erecting these tents or building these tents. So not only they brought the immigrants down there, they said, "Oh, you spending money? I know it's winter time. You don't got no place to put them. We build tents too. And I don't know why people don't see that as a problem. But this is the story.
National company without debate from City Council. NBC5 Sandra Torres joins us
in Chicago.
Yeah, we do know he signed a $29 million contract with an international company without debate from City Council. NBC5 Sandra Torres joins us live now from the Fulton Market neighborhood with the very latest. Sandra.
JC and Michelle, let's start with what's happening today. The city is opening a temporary shelter. So that's happening at this office building along Ogden Avenue here in the Fulton Market neighborhood. And that is for families who recently arrived in the United States who are seeking asylum. But the city is still overwhelmed with the amount of migrants that they are helping trying to find housing. At last check, city officials tell us there are a total of about 8,300 migrants in city shelters, with about 2,000 of them awaiting placement at police stations and city airports. That is why the mayor is moving forward with this plan to move them into tent cities, signing a $29 million contract with the company Garda World to make it happen. But some aldermen question why the same company that has a Florida contract to bus the migrants here will now make millions to care for them.
The fact that we're spending $29 million on a tent city system that probably won't even function in sub-zero weather Chicago style is just amazing to me.
And the fine print of the deal reveals Garda will provide security, 3 meals a day, daily childcare for 7 days a week, van transport to school and doctor appointments, as well as laundry. We've learned that the city of Denver also had a very similar deal with Garda World, but they ended up pulling out of that deal due to concerns after questions were raised about alleged abuses of mistreatment towards migrants. We've also learned, NBC5 has learned, that staffers at Garda recently underwent training to address some of those concerns. Reporting live here in the Fulton Market neighborhood, Sandra Torres, NBC5 News.
So you see, other states were involved with this company, and they decided not to move forward. And I don't understand why Brandon Johnson thought it was the right move to contract with this private, I guess they're calling it a private security fund firm to relocate the migrants that's seeking asylum. So it's a private security firm, and he didn't get any input from the residents or city council. They didn't vote it. He just made an executive decision, just like a communist would do. Now, we already reported a story about Mayor Brandon Johnson trying to have a city-owned grocery store. That reeks communism as well. So not only are you controlling the people's food, you're trying to control what's being spent, the Chicago budget, what's being spent in the community, and you're not even spending it for the community. You're spending it on illegal immigrants. So he's lost his rabbit mind. Okay, and it's saying that they're trying to remove the migrants from the police station and the two city airports to winterize camps with massive tents before cold weather arrives. Following the lead of New York City, use of communal tents for migrants. Now, this private security firm is called Garda World, and Garda World Federal Service is a subsidiary sealed the 1-year deal. Okay, so I guess the subsidiary actually got the 1-year contract, $29.4 million contract. That was less than a week after Mayor Brandon Johnson announced the plans to move about 1,600 migrants to the network of newly erected tent cities across the city. He said relocation will occur before the weather begins to shift and change. And it's saying many of the migrants have been living temporarily inside the police stations or O'Hare or Midway airports. And this contract with Garda World states that its purpose is to allow the city to purchase from the state contract temporary housing solutions and related services to provide critical services to asylum seekers. Okay. And like I said, he's been getting a lot of backlash about this on Forbes. It's saying that this is pretty expensive. 1,600 people. You're spending $29 million on 1,600 people. What does that calculate to per person? What does that calculate to? You're spending 18,000 on each person. 18,000 on each person for shared housing and food. Does that even make any sense? Does that make any sense? I could tell you the shelter that we have in place for size family. And you know what? And I'll subtract the shelter because I live in a house. It's probably more expensive than living in a tent. But if we talk about a family of 4, you could feed a size family of 4 $3,600 a piece a year. I mean, like, what are you eating? Like, where are you going? What type of you might as well have your own vehicle and paying car note and car insurance for 18,000. 18,000 per citizen for that 1 year. So in this one, let me just give okay, it's saying that in a statement to Forbes, the city said this contract enables the city to stand up the base camps expeditiously and more quickly move new arrivals from Chicago Police Department district stations as the weather begins to change. Adding the shelters will meet American Red Cross standards and be equipped with HVAC system during the Chicago's harsh winters. Okay, and the city said it chose Garda World because of its contract with the state and noted that, as with all city-run shelters, there will be systems for people to file grievances and complaints if issues arise. With Garda World declined to comment, deferring to the city. Anyway, a lot of details remain unknown about Johnson's plans, including when the camps will be set up and begin operating or where the camps will be located. They have a surprising fact about Garda World. It has been at the center of a number of controversies in the recent years. Earlier this year, Denver negotiated a $40 million contract with Garda World, but the mayor, Michael Hancock, withdrew from the deal in June after local nonprofit leaders criticized the company. The Denver Post reported Denver had planned to potentially use the company to take over the sheltering operations for migrants in its city, but the local leaders cried foul and pointed out that the company has a history of alleged abuses and mistreatment. For example, in September, the Office of U.S. Inspector General found in 2022 that the Fort Bliss near El Paso, Texas, where Garda World had been contracted to provide assistance caring for unoccupied minors who had crossed the U.S. border, was providing inadequate service and had an adverse effect on children's well-being. In Florida, the division of Garda World based in Boca Raton that provided armor truck service was caught taking shortcuts on safety, including spending so little on maintenance that trucks often lack reliable brakes or seat belts, and putting drivers with little training or history of unsafe driving behind the wheels of his vehicles, according to Tampa Bay Times. It also found that the company lost track of millions of dollars of client money. It sounds like Garda World has the knowledge to put in for government contracts, but don't have the knowledge of the actual contract that they provide. Like, they're good at securing contracts, and they probably subcontract the contract out, but so they don't have any knowledge of what they provide. Firsthand knowledge, I'm saying. So is that a new thing? No, that this is not new. That you have a person with subcontract work out and secure contracts through the government or private companies. That's not a new thing. But the problem is, if you're talking about, oh, we got to remain humane, we got to, these are individuals for torn countries, they're seeking asylum. Okay, if you're going to put them in their hands, so quote unquote security firm, and they're mistreating them, then you're going to receive another backlash for that. And so not only you spend $29 million of taxpayers' money that they didn't want to spend because they don't want people over here, then you're going to say, oh, we're going to spend this money, but then they're going to get mistreated. So Mayor Brandon Johnson, he's just going to be in a lot of trouble. He might not get elected next year. He might not. I pray and hope that the city residents or the residents of Chicago will not reelect this guy, because he's doing a far worse job than Mayor Lightfoot. It says a few months ago, in the midst of Chicago's struggle to accommodate the migrants being bussed into the city, Chicago received reports about police officers potentially having inappropriate sexual relationship with migrants being housed inside the Ogden police station on the city west side. Are we surprised about that? Why are we surprised? Why are we surprised about this inappropriate sexual relationship? I wouldn't be surprised if we find out that Garda World has something to do with human trafficking. They have access to these people, young individuals. They're talking about they mistreated them in El Paso, Texas. The kids that was separated from their parents. And now these kids, they don't speak English. So you never know what's going on. That's another problem with the border. That's another problem why they should close the border. Because you're creating more problems. It says the Chicago Police Department immediately launched an internal investigation in July. However, months later, the city's Civilian Office of Police Accountability has been unable to identify any witnesses to corroborate allegations of sexual misconduct involving officers and migrants at the station. There's a language barrier. Are you going to be able to track that down? Police officers, they cover up for each other. And maybe the individual, and hopefully it wasn't no sexual assault. But if the individual willfully did this, she probably was getting paid for it. A small nominal fee. I don't know. It could be a whole plethora of things that we probably will find out about. Let me get to some of your comments. William Washington, Illinois sure knows how to pick their mayors. Yeah, they sure do. They know how to pick their mayors. Jim McQueen. Jim said, with the exception of porta potties, all these boarded up businesses and trash everywhere and destruction reminds me of growing up in Detroit in the 80s. Bad times. We escaped that, but Jim McQueen, are you still in Detroit? Let me know in the chat. And matter of fact, there in Detroit, it still look kind of suspect. In some, like some of the neighborhoods, they're trying to rebuild downtown. Now, downtown Detroit looks very beautiful. So they are trying to beautify the neighborhood. But like in some of the areas, if you're not on like one of the main strips or whatever, inside the communities, some of them look really desolate or destitute. North South said, I told people a long time ago, America will become communist one day. And if you notice, some of the stories that I've been reporting, they have all these communist attributes, like the governor in New Mexico. She tried to enact, and they found it was unconstitutional. She tried to enact this 30-day ban on carrying concealed weapons and open carry weapons. She tried to enact it, and the police was like, no, we're not doing that. And the court struck it down. And she didn't get no input, just like Mayor Brandon Johnson. She didn't get no input from like the police department, people that's actually on the street. Okay, you have a problem with gun violence. We have a problem with gun violence. I'm not just going to say you. We have a problem with gun violence in New Mexico or in Albuquerque in particular. So, wouldn't you go to the people that are manning the street, i.e. police officers? Wouldn't you phone the police chief or the state patrol police chief and say, hey, what do you think about this? She didn't do that because she's a tyrant. She thought, oh, I got so narcissistic. Oh, I have this brilliant idea. Not even idea. I have the perfect solution. And she drew up her solution and called a meeting saying, oh, we're going to do this. No input from the people that have been working. They're specialized in what they do, been working in the police force and state patrol for 20, 30 years. She didn't ask none of them. Just like this governor, Mayor Brandon Johnson. He didn't get any input from the people. Like you have aldermen in the city of Chicago. And you didn't even ask them, okay, where's the tent going to go? Do you think we should spend $29? What is Garda World record? And if you would have looked at their record, if you If you would have used your people to investigate Garter World, you would have said, oh no, maybe we need to hold off on this or find someone else to do this work. Even so, you could have even hired a Chicago company to do that work. You're gonna spend the money. Why don't you keep the money in the city? That don't even make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Jim McQueen says Chi-Town's mayor reminds me of the crooked Batman villain who cons the night with the clown smile and the crocodile tail. Yeah, he does. Not a lizard person. Hello all. Hey lizard, I think your first time tuning in. If so, just welcome to the channel. And I see some, can you hear me? I see some other people in the chat, Ace Boone Coon and Abraham Muhammad. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Commander Nice Guy, thank you for the $20 super chat. What is the world coming to when crazy Lightfoot seems normal to this idiot Johnson? Shaking my head. Appreciate your work and your videos. I like catching your replays and clips. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the super chat, and thank you for tuning in and your support. You guys, yeah, Mayor Brandon Johnson, he done lost his rabbit ass mind. But like I said, he's going to face a lot of criticism from the aldermen and the people in Chicago, and hopefully they'll smart up. Hopefully they will wise up, but I don't know. We're on the fence here, because you could do the most egregious things to people and they will be like, oh, he did this. He's still a Democrat. We're going to vote for him. Which is so ridiculous. They'll still vote for him. So ridiculous. Anyway, Alderman Andre Vasquez, that's his main supporter. He said, I do recognize that his executive branch has the latitude to be agile in the moment of crisis. So I get why some of this stuff moves quickly, but clearly we all have questions. He probably wanted to say more than that. Okay. And Alderman Ray Lopez says, I don't think we know enough about anything about the situation, at least all who we are getting in bed with to address the migrant situation. Just finding out that we're paying the same company responsible for shipping them here to now be in charge of taking care of them is like having the fireman both set the fire and extinguish it at the same time. So you're gonna have people really coming out against them. They're saying Garter World signed a similar contract statewide last year for $125 million. So like I said, this is a little bit on the ridiculous side. This thing that I'm sharing with you now, I guess this is how the tent is going to be set up in the different cots. And they're going to have a foot locker for each one of them. Typical yurt style base camp. So they're gonna have shower, laundry, all that. They're gonna have a dining area, you know, restrooms, all that. It's gonna be like their own little city. I called it a concentration camp. That's what it's gonna look like. They're gonna have gates around it. Nobody in, nobody out. Anyway, then they're gonna be talking about years from now, they gonna want reparations too. They gonna want some reparations because the inhumane treatment of immigrants. Anyway, you guys let me know in the chat. That's all I'm gonna say about this. It's just totally ridiculous to me. I don't understand why they're going this route, and just go the most direct route is to close the borders and ship the people that's not supposed to be here back, because nine out of 10 people that's over here shouldn't even be here. Anyway, so we're going to move to our next story. This next story is really interesting. Okay, really, really interesting, because you have this Democrat senator Bob Menendez of New Jersey, and his wife. His wife was indicted too, because they was taking gifts, money, bribes from 3 businessmen. Okay, so he was indicted, his wife was indicted, and 3 other businessmen from New Jersey to protect the nation of Egypt. This is why I said some other charges should incur on this, because this is like a foreign nation. They're saying in this, and I'll play the video for you in a minute. They're saying in this bribery charge that they found that not only he was accepting bribes from these businessmen, but this senator was giving them classified information to Egypt on different contracts that were coming up. And then the guy that was, or the people in Egypt that were getting these contracts, paid them these monies from the contracts. So some of the bribes that they receive is cash, gold, payments towards a home, mortgage, compensation for low or no show job, luxury vehicle, and other things of value. And this senator is the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Okay, so that's how he had privy information, because he was over the Foreign Relations Committee. And he was previously indicted in another federal bribery case, but that case was dropped after the trial ended in a hung jury. When I tell you, if you're in front of the judge multiple times for the same thing, you got a question. You have to really question whether or not, is this just a coincidence, or people are trying to politically prosecute me. We know that's not true, because I ain't never heard of Senator Bob Menendez ever. So like, or maybe, he has enemies somewhere, but realistically, the same charges and it end up in a hung jury. What's the likelihood of that? Okay. So here is their story. This is the Attorney General, I believe.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Damian Williams, and I'm the United States Attorney here in the Southern District of New York. Today, I'm announcing that my office has obtained a 3-count indictment charging Senator Robert Menendez, his wife Nadine Menendez, and 3 New Jersey businessmen, Wael Hannah, Jose Uribe, and Fred Davies, for bribery offenses. The investigation that led to these charges has been run out of the Southern District of New York. The indictment alleges that between 2018 and 2022, Senator Menendez, the senior U.S. Senator from New Jersey and the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and his wife Nadine Menendez, engaged in a corrupt relationship with Hannah, Uribe, and Davies. The indictment alleges that through that relationship, the senator and his wife accepted hundreds of thousands of dollars of bribes in exchange for Senator Menendez using his power and influence to protect and to enrich those businessmen and to benefit the government of Egypt. The indictment alleges that Hannah, Uribe, and Davies provided bribes in the form of cash, gold, home mortgage payments, a low-show or a no-show job for Nadine Menendez, a Mercedes-Benz, and other things of value to the senator and his wife. Now, constituent service is part of any legislator's job. Senator Menendez is no different. And as we explain in the indictment, there are things that Senator Menendez says he can do for his constituents and things that he says he cannot do for his constituents. He put it all on his Senate website. So for instance, it says he cannot compel an agency to act in someone's favor. It says he cannot influence matters involving a private business. It says he cannot get involved in criminal matters or cases, period. But we allege that behind the scenes, Senator Menendez was doing those things for certain people, the people who were bribing him and his wife. And let me say a little bit more about the conduct that's alleged in the indictment. The indictment alleges that Senator Menendez took several actions as part of this corrupt relationship. First, the indictment alleges that Senator Menendez used his power and influence, including his leadership role on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, to benefit the government of Egypt in various ways. Among other actions, Senator Menendez allegedly provided sensitive, non-public U.S. government information to Egyptian officials and otherwise took steps to secretly aid the government of Egypt. We also allege that Senator Menendez improperly pressured a senior official at the U.S. Department of Agriculture to protect a lucrative monopoly that the government of Egypt had awarded to Hannah. A lucrative.
You guys tell me. I'm not a lawyer, but bribery is just the small charge. I see racketeering. I see maybe espionage. What are we saying here? Like you're talking about he influenced or and gave information to foreign governors. They're throwing a book at Donald Trump. And Donald Trump didn't even do Donald Trump didn't even come close to what this guy did. I, somebody, am I reaching for stuff? Like this doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. We got another super chat. Another super chat. Know the lizard person. Thank you for the $5 super chat. It's not much, but I hope it helps you grow your channel, and it does. Thank you for the super chat. Can anybody tell me? Am I reaching for the stars on this one? But this sounds like it's a doozy what this guy's been doing. This senator, he has ties with foreign internationals, and he's been influencing other governments or our government to do business with other governments. And if we're going to find out, he's also been using his political power to influence criminal activity, to change the mind of judges. But they didn't take the bait. They didn't take the bait, and I think that's ultimately how he got caught, because he trying to strong arm people. Commander Nice Guy, thank you for the $100 super chat. Gotta run, but I show you some more love on the way out. I would definitely catch all the replay after work. Everyone support Chawanne if you can. Hey, that rhymes, and I don't even try. Thank you for the $100 super chat. This doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. They're throwing the book at Donald Trump. They're saying he influenced the election, or not influenced the election. He tried to overturn the election. And also he has some other charges talking about he kept the documents from being in office. I don't know about you. I was an engineer. I just cleaned out my basement. I still had some documents, and probably some documents that I wasn't supposed to have because it was some of the plant drawings. I just end up tossing those because I had them in a tub somewhere. So who doesn't have documents from their old job? Especially if you a person that keep documents. Anyway, let's go back to our video.
The monopoly that Hana then used to fund certain bribe payments. Second, the indictment alleges that Senator Menendez used his power and influence to try to disrupt a criminal investigation and prosecution undertaken by the New Jersey Attorney General's office related to an associate and a relative of Uribe. Third, the indictment alleges that Senator Menendez used his power and influence to try to disrupt a federal prosecution of Davies in the District of New Jersey in two ways. First, by seeking to install a United States attorney who he thought could be influenced with respect to Davies. And second, by trying to influence that office to act favorably in Davies' case. And as we allege in the indictment, the senator agreed to do these things and use his power in this way because Hana was paying bribes, because Uribe was paying bribes, and because Davies was paying bribes. Fortunately, the public officials the senator sought to influence did not bend to the pressure. That's a good thing. Now, as part of this investigation, special agents with the FBI executed search warrants on the residence and safe deposit box of Senator Menendez and Nadine Menendez in New Jersey. When they got there, they discovered approximately $500,000 of cash stuffed into envelopes and closets. Some of the cash was stuffed in the senator's jacket pockets. Some of the envelopes of cash contained Davies' fingerprints or Davies' DNA.
What? What are they saying? They had money, $500,000 in a closet, stuff in envelopes with the man's fingerprints on it. I mean, okay, you gonna do a crime and you've been receiving bribes over, years and years. Why the hell would you have the money still in your suit jackets? Like, so you just a dumb criminal? Is that what we're saying? You just a stupid criminal. You gonna have money, you have the bribes, the actual money in your house. If you could connect it to a foreign international, why wouldn't you have that money overseas somewhere? I mean, come on now. Put it in crypto. Put it somewhere where you won't have, you get caught. This doesn't make any sense. You got caught with your pants down. And you've been taking bribes over the years and you still had the money on you. Like, this doesn't make any sense.
That's not all. Agents also discovered a lot of gold. Gold that was provided by Davies and Hana. And the FBI, of course, found the Mercedes-Benz that Uribe had provided them. Now, the items that the FBI uncovered are discussed in the indictment, which I encourage all of you to read carefully. Let's take a look at just some of the items. So as you can see here, this is the Mercedes-Benz that we allege.
You know what this remind me of? This is like almost, we're pranking you, like, because he's like showing like we're in this foreign country and he's showing like this is the Mercedes Benz. Like everybody knows what a Mercedes Benz look like. But I guess they gotta put it on there. And then look at this jacket. And they got the money spread it out. Like, what is this? Is this a drug bust? Like, what is this? What is going on here?
That Uribe provided as part of the scheme. What you see here are 3 kilograms of gold. These 3 kilograms together are worth approximately $150,000.
That's ridiculous.
And of course, here you can see just a fraction of the cash that was uncovered as part of the scheme. Now, I want to make a couple of things very clear. First, my office remains firmly committed to rooting out public corruption without fear or favor and without any regard to partisan politics. That's in our DNA. Always has been, always will be. And second, this investigation is very much ongoing. We are not done. And I want to encourage anyone with information to come forward and to come forward quickly. And they can do that by reaching out to the FBI's tip line at 1-800-CALL-FBI. Now, a case of this magnitude requires tremendous partnership. And I want to thank our partners at the FBI who have been with us since day one and have been absolutely incredible every step along the way. I also want to thank our partners at the IRS for their assistance in this investigation. I want to thank our colleagues from around the Department of Justice, who are far too many to name here and to thank specifically, but they have also been invaluable. And of course, I want to thank the career prosecutors from my office who are handling this investigation. They have done tremendous work. Eli Mark, Laura Pomerantz, Dan Richenthal, Paul Monteleone, and their supervisors, Rebecca Donaleski and Maureen Comey, the chiefs of our office's public.
Okay, we're not gonna hear him say thank you to all his staff for finding, all the criminal stuff. But let's get into what they're talking about. Okay, so they're charging him with 3 counts for the indictment. 3 counts. And they're saying that, he provided sensitive U.S. government information and took other steps that secretly aided the government of Egypt and pressured the U.S. Agriculture Department official to protect a business monopoly in Egypt for one of the 3 businessmen. This is a 69-year-old Democrat of using his office and influence to disrupt a criminal probe in New Jersey of a second businessman. And they allege that Menendez recommended that President Joe Biden nominate a certain individual as a U.S. attorney for New York, New Jersey. Because of the senator believed that this person could be influenced by Menendez to disrupt the banking crime prosecution of the third businessman, Fred Diabes, a longtime fundraiser for the senator. So he's up for re-election in 2024, but he had agreed to step down as the chairman of a powerful Senate Foreign Relations Committee due to the charges, according to the source close to him who spoke to NBC News. And I guess it's some type of rule that mandates if you have any felony charges pending, you have to step down from to be a committee member. Now it's saying Menendez married Nadine in October of 2020 after dating for just under 3 years. She was for many years a friend of Hannah, a 40-year-old native of Egypt, according to the indictment. Man, so maybe it's because of this woman. Now, we say women, they get you in trouble. How old is it? I think she's 56. His wife is 56, but she has a friend named Hannah, a 40-year-old native of Egypt, according to the indictment. The indictment says, and that's probably how she got indictment, and that's probably how he got indictment because of this crazy. Oh, hey, honey, help my friend out. Hannah's just, she's ahead of the U.S. agriculture or whatever of Egypt, and she needs help. You think you could do that, Bob, for me? That's probably how it happened. Oh, baby, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. So he got in trouble for a woman. Women get you in trouble, all types of trouble. Get you in all types of trouble. Anyway, it says the indictment says that after she began dating Menendez, she and Hannah introduced the center to Egyptian intelligence and military official for the purpose of establishing and solidifying a corrupt agreement to bribe him and Nadine to benefit Egypt with military sales and financing. It says the indictment says that during a June 2022 raid on Menendez, New Jersey home, a safe deposit box, federal agents found the cash, gold, and jewelry in the luxury vehicle at the home. Over $480,000 worth of cash, and it was all stuffed in clothes and closets and envelopes and stuff. So, and then they were saying that Nadine, his wife, had $70,000 in a safe deposit box. Some of the envelopes contain the fingerprints or the DNA of 66-year-old Diabes or his driver. This is his wife. They cooked up a whole criminal scheme. And so this last case that was a hung jury, it says in 2015, he was hit with 14 criminal counts related to hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of lavish gifts and campaign donations he received from Florida ophthalmologist Solomon Melgen. The prosecution against Menendez was dropped after November 2017 trial ended with jurors deadlocked on the verdict. He could have faced, so Melgden was convicted of Medicare fraud and was sentenced in 2018 to a 17 years in prison, a 17-year prison sentence. Melgden had his sentence commuted in January 2020 by the then President Donald Trump at Menendez urging. So Donald Trump probably didn't really know what was going on. He probably was friends, maybe. He trying to do a good thing, and he didn't know that this guy is corrupt as corrupt could be. It says The indictment alleges that Menendez sought to disrupt a federal criminal prosecution of Diabes by urging Biden to nominate Philip Sillinger as the top federal prosecutor in New Jersey because Menendez believed he could be influenced by Menendez by the respect of Diabes case. Selinger later was confirmed by the Senate and U.S. Attorney for New Jersey. He was not identified by name in the indictment, but the timely circumstances of his nominations track the timeline of the indictment. The spokesperson for Selinger in the statement says the U.S. Attorney Selinger was recused from the Diabes matter, and all activity by the office related to the matter has handled appropriately according to the principles of the federal prosecution. He probably recused himself because of Menendez. He got his promoted, and Menendez, that was his friend, Diabes' friend. So that's why he recused himself. So he did a good thing, or the right thing. Let's say that. And I guess this other person, this third businessman, he's 56, works in the trucking and insurance business. He had a prior fraud conviction and is associate and friends with Hannah. Hannah, she's corrupt as it comes. She's a stained, torn woman. She's corrupt. It says the document signed by Palumbo in July lists Menendez as the grantor and fund the campaign treasurer as a trustee. They're talking about this bribery in connection with these briberies or funds or whatever. This new indictment against Menendez comes nearly a decade after the Supreme Court making it more difficult for federal prosecutors to win corruption cases against elected officials, others for acts related to government services. So, you guys let me know what you think. I mean, corruption is rampant in political office. We can't just say, hey, it's just Democrats. We could say it's Republicans too. This is the most I've heard in a while about corruption from like a senator. I mean, I can't even think of the last time I heard that a senator was being charged with a bribery case. And I wouldn't be surprised if he said it's an ongoing investigation. I wouldn't be surprised if more charges wouldn't occur. I mean, we could read into the indictment, but I think we're going to get the same information. We'll probably get the same information, but it is 39-page indictment supporting their claims. And then they got several pictures of the Egyptian official. Actually, let me just share this tab. They blocked off his face. They blocked off his wife's face and this Egyptian official. They said the news article reporting the two pending foreign military sales of Egypt totaling approximately $2.5 billion. And Bob had to sign off on this. So they just followed the money. That's basically what happened. They followed the money and they found out that this dude was dirty. Dirty as it comes. It's crazy to be that politician who do crime and do crime so dumb. Robert Jordan, perhaps your next investigation should be the president and his son. Yeah, you know what? We're going to talk about that. We're going to get more information on President Joe Biden and Hunter Biden because right now there's an impeachment inquiry happening and they already subpoenaed Hunter Biden. So I think they said as soon as possible. They didn't give him a deadline. So we'll probably I'll keep my ears to the ground to know more. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think about this. We're going to move on to our next story. And of course, our next story is on X, Twitter. And it's about your illustrious mayor of New York City. Your illustrious mayor, I guess since they're having a police shortage, they're going to use what they call Night Scope K5 security robot to patrol subway stations in Times Square. On this post, this is from Colin Rugg. I think he's a journalist. I'm not for sure out of where, but I know he's a journalist. There's no plan to solve the migrant crisis, but at least you have a robot in New York City. The 400-pound robot was leased by the NYPD for 6 months and will cost them about $12,500. It's cheaper to rent a robot than to have a city cop, right? We're committed to exploring innovative tools to continue to make this city the safest big city in America. And this robot K5, it has the potential to serve as an important tool in our toolbox. In 2017, the city tried out a similar robot. However, it decided to take a swim in a foundation and drowned itself. So this is your mayor talking. This is Mayor Eric Adams. I got a longer clip, but we'll look at this.
Devices like the K5 have the possibility to serve as a deterrent to crime, or at least learn best practices while using technology going forward.
So you see, they're saying it's going to combat crime, but look at some of these posts. Somebody put on here. Now, I guess San Francisco or California decided to use robots, and this is what they're doing to the robots. Robots under attack. Then you got this guy, I guess 7-Eleven had a robot delivering, and this guy like, okay, let me just take the food out of it. He took the drink out of it. This one looking sad. Somebody tipped this one over. They're saying delivery robots under attack. So this is probably going to happen to the robots in the subway. Somebody probably going to throw it on the subway track. Look at this lady. She looks like she owns something. And now robots, they had enough. I guess they coming out and saying, no, enough is enough. You're not going to abuse us, maybe. This is in San Francisco. Delivery robots. Somebody put the iRobot Terminator methods didn't go well for the fictional peeps, so let's try it on real people. Oh my God. It would be ironic if someone took it out using a drone with roll flares hanging down or fireworks. Oh, that's a drone setting off fireworks. Look, firing it on people. Like, that's really crazy. More about this story. Let me just pull it up. Now, so you see, Mayor Eric Adams, he's not tackling the migrant crisis. I guess he said, oh, we're going to build tents and that's going to be it. But so he wants to tackle the New York Police Department shortages. So that's where he's spending most of his time with.
.60-degree camera on wheels with a button if someone needs to call for help. You've got so many cameras already. Why do you need this?
Well, a lot of them are hidden or not obvious. I think that for would-be criminals, it's a pretty obvious reminder that, police or technology are watching folks.
But there are private.
I don't understand. So I hit the button. I'm going to hit the button.
Hey, I'm Storm Team 4 Media.
And you're going to tell me how fast will the police show up? How fast will the police show up if I hit this button? It's just, you're taking off the human necessity. But I guess this is New York City. They don't like the cops in New York City. So maybe the robots would be better. Maybe the robots will stop crime. Put a 1 in the chat. Do you think these robots will do a better job at policing than normal people? Put a 1 in the chat. Do you think the robots will do a better job at policing than regular police officers, human police officers? Not only the immigrants are here to take your job, but the robots are here to take your job. The robots are taking your jobs. So not only you got to worry about illegal immigrants, you got to worry about robots too. This is a longer story.
In crime fighting, you may soon see a new robotic crime fighter in the subway system.
Yeah, no gun, no baton, and no handcuffs. But take a look. This bot is equipped with cameras to send live video and other intelligence back to the police department.
With the latest, here's Eyewitness News reporter NJ Burkett.
The newest member of the NYPD weighs 400 pounds, gets paid $9 an hour, and works midnights without a single complaint. Transit commanders couldn't be happier.
Welcome to New York City, K5, and welcome to the NYPD.
K5 is a robot that will patrol the Times Square subway station in the overnight hours, equipped with multiple cameras and two-way communication, intended to deter crime and to capture crimes in progress, equipped with a panic button.
We are taking an expansive camera network in the subway system and adding a series of cameras that not only moves, but a device that can connect subway riders to immediate assistance if the need arises.
Crime underground is trending lower, but violent assaults are still more than 50% higher than they were 4 years ago. K5 is being leased from Nightscope, its manufacturer. It has facial recognition capabilities and listening devices. But Mayor Adams insists neither will be activated.
It is our duty to utilize state-of-the-art technology advancements to help keep New Yorkers safe. I believe we must do it wisely and not intrusively.
So now you just stupid. So you got all that equipment. Number one, you got a damn robot. You got a damn robot patrolling the streets. Okay. But it's equipped with facial recognition. They could detect sounds. They record sounds. They record video. And I'm assuming it's linked up to the police department somewhere. But you're not going to use you're not going to use the equipment or the technology to which they equipped it for. You're just going to use it as a body, a robot body, and people are going to be like, oh my God, the robot is here. Let me not do this crime right now. That is so asinine to me. I think Mayor Eric Adams, him and Brandon Johnson, maybe they met for lunch one day and said, oh, let's see who could be the worst mayor. Let's see who could be the largest city worst mayor in history. And they got a running bet on it. And they trying to one each other up. Because both of these two, they're like, are they trying to play a joke on the citizens? Like, what is going on here?
Civil liberties experts say there needs to be better oversight, quote, to ensure our personal data isn't exploited and that no communities are harassed, targeted, or abused. But the NYPD is ramping up its use of robotics, from dogs to drones to tracking devices, and now robots.
I'd rather have the presence of a police department than having a machine.
I think it's a great idea. K5 will be accompanied by a patrol officer for the first 2 months of a pilot program, mainly to answer questions from curious riders. A solo deployment expected just in time for the holiday tourist season.
The mayor insists that pranksters who may try to vandalize K5 will be identified and arrested. How it holds up against Jawas with lasers is another question.
I don't think you get more sillier than this. I don't think they're going to be successful in their attempts, because like I said, people are going to vandalize those robots. Those robots is probably going to be like on the track, the subway track, and you're not going to deter crime. You don't want to arrest people. So how are you going to deter crime? Anyway, that's enough about that. That's enough about that. You guys, let me get to some of your chats. Robert Jordan said, no, it doesn't matter. It's no jail, no bail in New York City. Exactly. You don't want to arrest people. You just, we just put a robot in this place at nighttime. And you're not going to use none of their technology. Does that make any sense to you? They have all this technology and you said, oh, we're not going to use all of their technology. We're trying to be less intrusive. No. If you're really trying to protect people, you'll be more intrusive. Shepherd. Huge. Huge waste of time and money. Fire them now. Get a new police commissioner and chief of police, and also fire Mayor Adams. He's an insult to the city. Yeah, he is an insult. I'm not even a New Yorker. He's an insult to the city. I literally feel sorry for the people in New York City. First, they started off. I think you guys. I don't know if you heard they banned oven-fired stoves in New York City, like the pizza stoves. Like New York is known for pizza. And Mayor Eric Adams, oh, to do our part to save in emissions, we're going to ban oven-fired stove. Like, dude, this is how we make pizza. When you go to New York, you don't say, oh, let me get, well, maybe you'll say, let me get a hot dog. But no, you want a slice of New York pizza. You taking away the identity of New York. This is so unreal to me. Like, and then now you got massive people of immigrants, illegal aliens. You put them in a hotel, and this particular hotel is owned by Pakistan or some crazy foreign. You didn't even keep the money in your city. You could have had, or even in the US, you could have put these people in a place where the hotel was American owned. But no, you didn't do that. You put them in a hotel where it's owned by a foreign country. Then you shit on the people on top of that. Then on top of that, you're using the people's dollars, the tax dollars that's supposed to go to the people. Then on top of that, coming to find out, you want to extradite or expedite work visas for illegal immigrants. They're getting mopeds, transportation for free. And that story that I just covered, maybe last week, it was last Sunday, where that baby, 4 kids were exposed to fentanyl. Because you probably expedited this person's certification to open up a children's facility. And more likely, they probably was illegal immigrants. And that the baby passed away because they were exposed to fentanyl. It was a cover. They running drugs through the baby center. He's a complete joke. Complete joke. And I guess they pushed, what's the guy's name? Cuomo out. I think, wasn't he the mayor? Not Chris Cuomo, but his brother. They pushed him out, I guess, because of, they said he was had inappropriate relationships with another woman, I guess. So they pushed him out. And I think he was doing a pretty good job. He was a pretty decent mayor. But they pushed him out. Then they got this crazy nut job, de Blasio. He got elected because he was married to a black woman, I'm assuming. But coming to find out, this black woman is a lesbian. She's a lesbian. And they said, oh, we're going to stay together. Why are you defiling marriage? Number one. We're going to stay together. I guess because it's cheaper to stay together. We're going to just be lifetime partners. So they put him in office. Just crazy, crazy stuff in New York. Anyway, my heart goes out to you. What's up, Matt? What's up? We're going to get to our next story. This guy I'm not going to talk about. Actually, this is a woman. This is a woman. But I'm not going to talk about that because it kind of irritates me. My last story, I'm going to talk about this lady. Now, I just posted a story about Dove partnering with uh, an obese BLM activist. And she wanted everyone to know that we should be talking about marginalized people. And she was trying to convey the message that she was on this fat liberation journey. And she thinks everyone should be talking about it. The spaces and institutions should be talking about fat liberation. Now, so I guess it's a thing that's going on. Now we don't have Lizzo anymore. We're not listening to Lizzo because Lizzo, she's been accused of being mean to people, which I believe, because Lizzo is a mean girl. I believe all the charges. But because she fits the bill. Anyway, so we don't have Lizzo anymore. So we need other marginalized, heavyset females to come to the forefront and take the charge and take the lead. So this young lady, she is making demands about what fat people need, and she wants them. So it says, this is from Censored Man. The entitlement here is insane. Being ultra obese is not a disability. You are correct. It's not a disability. So why should we make spaces if you're not disabled? Because being disabled and the people don't make spaces for disability, it's against the law. That is against the law if you don't make spaces and make things accessible for disabled people. So expecting hotels to go out their way and change their entire system for you is crazy. I could think of one very simple solution. However, so we're going to take a look at what she had to say.
I'm on a mission to revolutionize the travel industry and make it a more accessible, accepting, accommodating place for all. The needs.
She's on the mission to revolutionize the travel industry. Let me make sure you guys can see this before I just start playing. Okay, you can't see it.
The plus-size travelers matter just as much as anybody else, and today I'm going to cover what we are looking for in accessible, size-inclusive hotel amenities. Size-inclusive hotel amenities are crucial for ensuring that plus-size travelers feel welcomed, accommodated, and comfortable during their stay. We deserve an environment that respects our needs and body diversity. These are the exact steps that hotels can take to be more size-inclusive and accessible for travelers of all sizes. Number 1 on the list, provide sturdy, wider chairs without armrests in guest rooms, lobbies, and common areas to accommodate different body sizes and types. Number 2 on the list, ensure beds with strong support and a higher weight capacity.
I mean, how much higher weight capacity do you need to go? Because you got some females that are bigger than men, like linebackers. So you expect the hotel to make all these changes to each to each bed? Oh, just in case we get a plus size traveler, we got to make sure we put enforcements on the bottom of the bed. I'm not for sure. Let me know where this is going.
Along with providing reinforced chairs and wider bathroom facilities. Number 3, make
wider bathroom facilities. You know, when people speak, do they understand what they're saying to a person? You want a wider bathroom facility. Have you ever remodeled a bathroom? And the cost associated associated with remodeling the bathroom. So you want larger hotel room and larger bathrooms. Why don't you just pay the money to get the larger hotel room and the larger bathroom? Because some bathrooms are equipped. They're larger size bathrooms, but you just got to pay for it. It doesn't come in a standard size room. That's why they call it standard. Let me know if I'm just going off on the deep end right here. Put it in the chat.
Elevators and hallways spacious to allow for easy movement of larger individuals and those utilizing mobility devices.
You want a hotel room, a hotel just to remodel their whole floor plan. Oh, we might get larger individuals. So instead of I guess it's 3 feet wide, is not 3 feet wide, but maybe 6, 7 feet wide. I forget what a standard size hallway is. So you want a wider, you just want them to overhaul all the hotel rooms so you could fit in it.
Number 4, install grab bars in showers and near toilets. Offer adjustable handheld shower heads and raised toilet seats for added accessibility.
This lady is making me have a headache. So you want so that's disability. You know, they do have like handicap accessible toilets and grab bars on the showers. You need to have and ask for handicap accessible if you want this kind of amenities. But you're not handicapped.
Number 5, train staff to be respectful, understanding, and accommodating to travelers of all sizes.
I do believe staff should be respectful to anybody that's spending money at their hotel. It doesn't matter what size you are. They should be respectful to everybody. So I do agree with that one. But that's a given. That's just called common sense in customer service.
Number 6, provide pool lifts and handrails at the entry of the pool. This will allow for plus-size guests and guests with different abilities to enjoy all amenities. Number 7, hotel restaurants should have roomy seating options and sturdy chairs, ensuring that everybody can dine comfortably. Number 8, offer larger beach and pool seating.
Why? Why we need to do that? Like, why does any hotel need to do that? Because you want plus size seating. Do they even offer plus size seatings on the beach? Like lawn chairs? Where do you get that from? You want somebody that's specially made of plus size? Or just put 2 lawn chairs together. How about that? How about you do the work? Since you're a plus size person, you put the 2 lawn chairs together. Or spend the extra money and rent a cabana.
Provide oversized loungers and seating at the beach and pool areas.
And number 2, if you go swimming, this is the first thing they teach kids to go swimming, is to be able to pull themselves out the pool without a handrail. Like if they fall in the pool, the first safety thing that they teach the kids is to be able to get to the ledge and pull them out the pool. If you cannot do that, you shouldn't be in the water. Let me know if I'm wrong. I'm just telling you guys the truth. This is I got 2 kids. They've been in swimming since they were like before they was able to walk. The first thing they taught them is to be able to pull themselves out of the pool without any assistance. If you can't do that, you shouldn't be in the pool.
Allowing travelers of all sizes and abilities to be comfortable. Number 9, hotels should provide size-inclusive bathrobes. These should go up to a size 6X and beyond.
How'd you get there if you a size 6? You know the bathrobe, like, okay, so number 1, let's go back to the bathrobe, period. You're in a luxury hotel if they offer a bathrobe. You're probably paying like $400 a night in that particular hotel. If they offer a bathrobe, you're not going to get a bathrobe if you staying at a Marriott or anything like that. Or let me know. I think it's like the upper echelon of hotels that's offering. But now you want them to accommodate your size too. One size fit all, cupcake. It's one size fit all. They don't have small meal. You can't call down to the desk and say, "Hey, I'm a size small. You think I could get a smaller robe?" No, it's one size fit all. If you can't fit it, tough. You don't see smaller people, and I'm a smaller person. Oh, can I get a smaller robe? I need an extra small. Like, no. I would never do that. I give you one more. When our family, we went to Universal Studios for our family trip. You know how the guardrail come down? It doesn't hit your leg when you're small. It don't come all the way down. So you're kind of like loose. Can you provide smaller guardrails for smaller size individuals so I could feel safe? Everybody probably be looking at me like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you? It's one size fit all. They're not going to change or outfit the ride because I only weigh 120 pounds. They're not going to change the ride.
And hotels should also provide bath sheets or plus-size friendly towels so that travelers of all sizes and abilities can use them comfortably.
You need to put 2 towels together or bring your own towel. The towels in the bathroom at hotels they're larger. They're larger than normal towels. So what are you talking about? Just because you're a plus size individual, you think they're going to change all this stuff because you want to act like you moving in. You want to move into the hotel room or just pay extra money to get all these amenities. Because I'm pretty sure, like, if you rent a suite, I'm pretty sure they have larger bedrooms, larger bathrooms. I don't know about the larger robes, but they have different amenities for people that pay the money. More space.
And last but not least, this is an important one. Display clear and accurate information on these amenities on hotel websites. Include weight limits, seat dimensions, and things like that. And include information on the size-inclusive amenities available. This will help plus-size travelers make informed decisions. By implementing these size-inclusive hotel amenities, hotels can become more inclusive and accommodating. Be sure to hit that follow button for more plus-size travel tips and share this with someone who you think would help.
When you go out of town, say if you're a younger person, I'm not for sure how young this lady is. Say, okay, you're out of town, you with your homeboys, y'all going to Miami, and you decided to go into the hotel room, and if plus size is not your thing, you went into this whole room, and this is inclusive hotel for the plus size girls. So now you got all these plus size girls walking around. Then whoever booked the hotel, they were like, dude, You booked us for the hotel room and we don't even got no eye candy. So now you detracting. They're not gonna, this is what I'm getting at. A hotel is not gonna do that, especially if like you're in Vegas or Miami somewhere. They're not gonna say, oh, we're plus size friendly. No, they're not. They're not gonna say that. Because if it's younger people traveling and they're out ready to mingle and party and have fun, they don't want that. They don't want you scaring the other guests away. They're not going to do that. I'm sorry. You guys let me know. Let me know if I'm reaching out for the stars here. I'm going down the wrong road. But you tell me, if you're a single guy and you saw on the hotel website, oh, we're plus size inclusive, and you're a single guy, and you going out with your homeboys, y'all going out on this trip, you gonna want to go to that hotel room. You gonna want to sit at that pool. You up there trying to look for something, and you gonna want to sit at the pool. Just let me know. Especially if it's not your thing. Now, some people like the plus size girls, but if it's not your thing, you ain't gonna want to be around that. You said Robert Jordan said, how come no demands on making changes in the fitness center or the workout room? Because they don't visit the workout room. How come? Yeah, well, how come she didn't say make larger sittings for the weight bench? She's not gonna say that. Or a larger plus size friendly treadmill. Because they don't visit the treadmill. Hey, Vincent. So yeah, it's crazy how she's making all these demands, but she's not willing to meet any other requirements, weight requirements. You want all the whole industry to change to your weight requirement, but you're not willing to change. You're not willing, number one, to spend the money or the time and the effort to get to a healthy weight. This is not healthy. This is not healthy. And like when I said on that last video, it's not healthy. And she probably is suffering from some type of heart problems, diabetes, or something like that. At least try to get to a healthy weight. But you want everybody to make all these provisions for you, but you're not willing to make any provisions to save your own life, to prolong your life. Okay, you guys. I think that was it for our live stream today. I'm not gonna prolong it. Tomorrow I'll be online around 5:30. You guys stay tuned for that. You also want to make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. I appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you. It's been real and it's been fun. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Sending all my good to you. Have a great night.